So today we are going to start learning about minerals. So in your Edmodo, you go to the post that says 910 minerals. So we have the link for the reading, we have the practice questions that you're going to do, and we have my email that you can turn them into. So let's take a look at minerals. So a mineral is going to be a solid material that forms by a natural process. So a mineral can be an element or a compound, and this is more of a chemistry concept, but an element is a substance that can't be broken down into anything simpler. And then a compound is two or more elements combined. Okay, so you don't really need to remember what an element and a compound are at this point. That's more for chemistry. So a mineral is going to have a specific chemical composition, so it's going to be made out of the same stuff. So its chemical composition is going to be different from other minerals. And each type of mineral is going to have several physical properties that differ from others. So the way we identify minerals is we identify them by their crystal structure, their hardness, their density, and their color. So with silver, silver is soft, so that's its hardness. It's a soft, shiny metal. So soft would be its hardness, shiny would be its color. But we are going to get a little more into what this means as we go on with minerals. So a mineral is going to need to form by a natural process. Okay, so they are going to form by processes that happen in or on Earth. So they can happen inside the Earth. So when lava cools, mineral crystals form. So lava can cool on the surface or in the interior. Minerals can also precipitate from water. So they come from water. And then some minerals are going to grow when rocks are exposed to high pressures and temperatures. Okay? And if you make something in a lab, it doesn't count as a mineral because it has to be formed by a natural process. Minerals are also inorganic substances. So that means it was not made by living organisms. It's not made by living things. So, in a very few cases, living organisms can make inorganic materials, such as the shells that come from things that were once living. So minerals are going to have a definite composition. So silver is always going to be made of silver atoms. And diamond and graphite, those are both going to be made of only carbon. So some minerals are going to be made from an element like silver and diamond and graphite. Some are going to be made up of chemical compounds. So the mineral quartz is going to be made up of silicon dioxide. And then minerals are also going to be solid. So just making sure I didn't miss anything there. So minerals have to be solid. So ice and water have the same chemical composition. They're both water. Water is liquid water, ice is solid water. But since ice is solid and since minerals have to be solid, ice is going to be the mineral. So some solids are not going to be crystals. So the way you tell if something is a crystal is the atoms are very organized. It has a regular repeating pattern. All right. So sometimes two different minerals have the same chemical composition, so they're made up of the same stuff, but they are going to be different minerals because they have different crystal structures. So diamonds are very hard, and the graphite in pencils, that's very soft. So they're both made up of carbon. Okay, so they both have the same chemical composition, but they have a different crystal structures. So, so the carbon atoms, I won't get too much into the structure, but the carbon atoms in graphite form layers. The carbon atoms in diamonds form more bonds, okay? So the carbon atoms that are found in diamonds form more bonds than the carbon atoms found in graphite. So that is why those carbon atoms in diamond, that's why diamond is harder than graphite. Physical properties, this is the last thing. So the patterns of atoms or its crystal structure is going to affect its physical properties. So a mineral's crystal structure is going to be determined by how the atoms are organized. All right. So I know that's a lot of information, but make sure you complete your questions and turn them into me.